The Mirdasid dynasty was a dynasty that controlled the Amirate of Aleppo more or less continuously from 1024 until 1080. General description: the Mirdasids were members of the Banu Kilab, an Arab tribe that had been present in northern Syria for several centuries. Like the other Arabs of the region, the Mirdasids were Shia Muslims. Although as a result of the expansion of the Seljuk Turks into the area they were constrained to convert to Sunnism. Unlike other Arab tribes of Syria that managed to establish their autonomy or independence in the late 10th, early 11th centuries, the Mirdasids focused their energies on urban development. As a result, Aleppo prospered during their reign. The Mirdasids demonstrated a high degree of tolerance to Christians, favoring Christian merchants in their territories and employing several as viziers. This policy, no doubt influenced by comparatively good relations with the Christian Byzantine Empire, often upset the Muslim population. The early history of the Mirdasid dynasty is characterized by constant pressure from both the Byzantines and the Fatimids of Egypt. By mixing diplomacy and military force, the Mirdasids were able to survive against these two powers. Militarily, the Mirdasids had the advantage of light Arab cavalry, and several Arab groups in the region, such as the Numerids of Harran and their own Kilabi brethren, provided valuable assistance. Later on, the Seljuks supplanted the Byzantines and Fatimids as their primary antagonist. The Turks' light cavalry were superior to their own and the Mirdasids had a much more difficult time dealing with them. The Mirdasids had resorted to recruiting Turkish mercenaries into their armies, although this caused its own problems, as the Turks began to acquire an increased role in the government. List of Mirdasid emirs: Saleh ibn Mirdis, 1024–1029. Shibal al-Dawla Nasser, 1029–1038. The Fatimids conquer Aleppo. Mu'izz al-Dawla Thimil, 1042–1057. Aleppo transferred to the Fatimids. Rashid al-Dawla Mahmud, 1060–1061. Mu'izz al-Dawla Thimil, restored, 1061–1062. Atiyya ibn Saleh, 1062–1065. Rashid al-Dawla Mahmud, restored, 1065–1075. Jalal al-Dawla Nasser, 1075–1076. Sabiq ibn Mahmud, 1076–1080. The Uqaylids take over Aleppo. Historical overview: after the overthrow of the Hamdanids in 1004, Aleppo had been ruled by several princes nominally subordinate to the Fatimids. It was from these individuals that Saleh ibn Mirdis took the town in 1024. When he died fighting the Fatimids 5 years later, his two sons Shibal al-Dawla Nasser and Mu'izz al-Dawla Thimil succeeded him, although Nasser quickly became sole emir. Despite a victory over the Byzantines in 1030, in the next year he became a Byzantine vassal. Later he transferred his allegiance to the Fatimids. However, the Fatimid governor of Damascus killed Nasser in battle and took Aleppo 1038. Nasser's brother Thimil managed to recover Aleppo in 1042 and eventually made peace with the Fatimids. He was a vassal of both the Byzantine emperor and Fatimid caliph. Troubles with the Kilab, however, caused him to give up Aleppo to the Fatimids in exchange for several coastal towns. The Kilab threw their support behind Thimil's nephew Rashid al-Dawla Mahmud, who took Aleppo in 1060. Thimil returned and in 1061 regained Aleppo from Mahmud, but died a year later. After Thimil's death, a succession dispute emerged between Mahmud and Thimil's brother, Atiyya ibn Saleh, leading to a split in the Mirdasid domains. Mahmud controlled the western half, while Atiyya controlled the east. In order to gain an edge over Mahmud, Atiyya recruited a band of Turks, but they later defected to Mahmud, forcing Atiyya to give up Aleppo in 1065. The Turks began moving into northern Syria in greater numbers, forcing Mahmud to convert to Sunni Islam and become a vassal of the Seljuk Sultan. Mahmud's death in 1075, followed by that of his son and successor Jalal al-Dawla Nasir in 1076, resulted in Nasir's brother Sabik ibn Mahmud becoming Emir. Conflicts between him and members of his family, along with several different Turkish groups, left the Mirdasid domains devastated, and in 1080, prompted by Sabik, the Uqaylid Sharif al-Dawla Muslim took over Aleppo. The Mirdasids maintained a level of influence in the region after the loss of Aleppo, and attempted to stem the advance of the First Crusade.